tradition will hold us in just saying. So you as an individual gotta represent your family, your community in its own right. And focus on your availability. Your availability. Like I believe that the globe is your residence. So the grounds are in front of over here.
What? You speaking to a nomad?
Let me tell you something. We got a passport to the globe. This right here, that's globe. We can go anywhere in the world. Station Convos. Well, it's a big wheel in North Carolina. Born and raised here, born in the mountains, North Carolina, country boy. But I travel all over the planet. By the grace of God and by the facilitation of the U.S. military. And I feel like by doing so, I got the exposure that I needed to perpetuate not only my ideals and my dreams and bring those to pass, but also it gave me exposure in the cultural inclusion that let me realize that we're all humans and we're all related in some way, shape, or form. So I'm about growth of humanity. That's when you walk in that vibration, I really believe you're walking in the vibration that the Creator wanted us to walk in. So blessings naturally come to you.
That's deep, man. You said something very powerful. Vibration. Vibration, definitely. Like, and that vibration is not there. It's not a translation to any aspect. So, yeah.
Words without purpose.
Right. Definitely. So what do you do? You said you from the country, North Carolina.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, like my dad, he was 60 years old when I was born.
He was 6 years old.
60 years old. My mom was 30. My dad was doing missionary work in Haiti when he met my mom, and they got married. And I'm the oldest of 4 kids. So I had an old school upbringing, like honor, duty, respect, elders, knowing when to keep your mouth shut and listen, and when you have something to say, make it count. And be confident and believe what you're saying. That's the reason why I don't need a script. This is unscripted. It's off the cuff. Because this is because the value that I truly internalize every day. Yeah. So it's easy for me to articulate what I'm trying to say to people because this is who I am. Yeah. What I do. So I'm a reservist in the Air Force. I do IT. I'm a cyber systems operations specialist for the Air Force. I'm a fireman here in North Carolina for the city. And I also am a remote engineer for Oracle. So I work multiple jobs, and the reason for that is I had to create a bulletproof economic plan. So my main focus was to be part of the fire program. Financial independence, retire. And for you to be able to do that, you have to have a bulletproof plan for turmoil in the market. Like if you look at the market right now, it's kind of weird. Like the crypto space, hypothetically, I may or may not have cryptocurrency. But if you look at the economic turmoil right now because of the economy, it's kind of jacked up, and you're not promised with your 401k or if you have crypto, it's going to produce any kind of revenue for you later in life. So my main thing was to create a safety net. And my safety net is pensions. Other people, they do other things. That's their business. But me, I like the surety of pensions. So pension with the military, pension with the fire department. And what that does is I know what I'm going to make later based on the efforts that I give. So if I get promoted, I do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to have this baseline. You got to have those goals. You got to have a well thought out plan with expenses to be executed to reach your final destination and where you go. So I've already have that in place. It's already running. So by the time I retire, I'm expected to make X. So what that does is, based on where I plan on living, that's another piece of my retirement planning. I'm gonna go where I'm treated best, and I say that with a caveat: treated best economically, spiritually, and physically, and emotionally. I have nothing against America. I love America. I serve this country. I'm still serving this country. But what I see happening later on in regards to the inflation and the devaluation of my dollar, and me having a pension that don't have a COLA, I got to do what I got to do to protect myself. So I'm going to go somewhere where I can leverage my dollar with foreign exchange rate. So what that does is that gives me assurity, and I can rest easy at night knowing that I can aggressively invest. So I'm a very aggressive investor. I'm real big on venture capital stuff. I might not make a return, but I can learn from those lessons from failure or from winning. And I always journal because journaling is key. It gives you direct data at a specific time that you can revert back to, and you can use that data moving forward on situations. You're going to notice a pattern. Plus, you can take that information and you can give that to your legacy. So that's part of my plan, having my pension working and stuff. So the IT piece, what I love about IT is it's global. You can work here in America and live anywhere in the world. 100% remote. You can leverage your pay, and you can take the residual and invest in that locality and make yourself something in that locality. You're talking. Let's use this example. If you make $100,000 a year, you live in a place where it's kind of popping on tourism. The property's nicely valued, but you only need $14,000 a year to live off of. You can take that remaining $86,000 and invest in property into Airbnb or open up a bar or restaurant and provide services to the tourists and the locals, providing jobs there, which gives you leverage in the community as a business owner. And it's very powerful. I've seen a lot of people do it. I've seen veterans do it. They took their small veteran pension and went to other countries, Costa Rica, Panama, Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, opened up restaurants and bars, and they're thriving. They got in at a time when it was cheap. They leveraged their pension, and now their pension is just gas money for their foreign cars. I've seen a guy living off the government pension. He has businesses now, but he picked me up from the airport in the race. I'm like, how you doing this? He's like, smart. Being smart about leveraging your dollar. Let me tell you something in life, man. This is a word that we got to get in the community: leverage. Period. The universe is suspended in leverage. Gravity is leverage. Power is leverage. And if you get leverage wherever you are, you're going to be winning.
Bars. Man, you said a lot, man. I want to dissect all of that, man. Let's go all the way back to what you said about planning.
Right.
That's very important. That's the foundation of any movement, planning.
Yeah, and you all know you're military. Yeah. You're military, so you know everything we do is planning. It's planning, prior to execution.
Right.
And this is not my quote, but it's a good quote. It takes three things to be successful. First off, you got to have a dream. You got to have a dream. That is the first thing. You got to want what you want. You got to be able to visualize. Anything a man can conceive, he can achieve. That's on Napoleon Hill. So you got to conceive it. You got to be able to see it in your mind. That's where exposure comes into play. You can see these things, like being around successful people, being around wealthy people. I've been around wealthy people all my life. I worked for them. Yeah, we did landscaping. So I always saw these people, they had money, but they didn't. They never had the money attitude. They just had that attitude like, we belong here. Yeah. And you can tell somebody that's got money that don't belong because they're laughing. They do way too much.
That's the difference between rich and wealthy.
Yeah, rich and wealthy. Rich is a state of being, wealthy is a state of mind. Yeah. So this family that I work for, they told me something very powerful when I was a kid. Change is loud. Dollars.
Yes,
that's the best thing I've heard in my life.
Yes. Say that one more time.
Change is loud. Change rattles in your pocket. Dollars are silent. You don't hear that. You don't hear that. So you gotta have you gotta be able to conceive it. And once you conceive it, then you have to reverse engineer. What's it gonna take for me to get this point? Right. What's it gonna take for me to have this big truck business in Bali? Right. My boat and my car and everything. Well, now you're gonna have to. How much is it gonna cost? Okay. What's it gonna take for me to be able to get that amount to make this happen? Okay. What certifications, what degrees is going to take for me to get the job to produce this amount of money for me to achieve this? What's the mindset on that? You have to literally put yourself in that position. You got to smell it, feel it, taste it, hear it, and then reverse engineer that from where you are to put yourself in that position. You got to project yourself. So conceive it, then you have to develop a plan. Okay? You develop a plan. You talk to peers. You talk to people that's already in that career space.
Mentorship.
Yeah. Go talk to these people. Huge. Take them now. Don't just go, hey, how did you get to where you got? No. What you do is you walk up, you find out what they like. If they like bourbon, if they like cigars, you say, hey, let me take you out to bourbon and cigar. Somebody wanted me to say, let me take you out to bourbon and cigar. I'm down. I don't care if I know them or not. Yeah. Then we can sit down because they came with me as a person with confidence, and they're really hungry, and they really put the time and effort in to try to get knowledge. Yeah. I'm not going to charge you for knowledge. I'm not selling. I'm not trying to monetize. I need my speed. Because I feel like when you do work, whether you get paid or not, you're always going to get paid. Eventually. It's just the way the universe works, law of attraction. The law of attraction, man.
You get that call one time.
Yeah.
Like, yo, that advice, hey, guess what? I need you to come through. Yeah, I got something for you.
The bullet always hits before you hear it.
Right. Whoa. Oh, hold on. This man just, oh man.
Big Will.
Oh man. What the bullet always hit? Oh, goodness gracious.
So,
get out there. Come on.
So, you know what I'm saying? So you put the effort in, you might not see the return. But one day you might be sitting on the couch one day and this dude that you mentor could be popping up on TV and you say, I remember that dude. Yeah. Well, he remembers you too. Yeah. Give you a call. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, don't go in with ulterior motive. Just go in genuine, like with a positive mindset, peaceful spirit. Do it. It'll come back to you. If you're in the right space, your vibrations like the always come back. Echo chamber. So you conceive your plan, you develop your plan. With professional opinion, you tweak this thing to make it peaceful.
It's always changing.
It's always going to change. Yeah. But as long as you're moving onward and upward, you're good. So then you got to take action. Conceive your plan, develop your plan your work, your plan. And then rinse and repeat because it's going to be levels.
Share that with So I got this Be Do Have concept from this guy,
Okay.
Phenomenal guy. He's changed my life. But he has a concept called Be Do Have. So be a lot, which is, embracing yourself, the visualization of who you're going to be, things of that nature, breaking in positive energy, positive resources, stuff like that. Do a lot. So when you become whatever you want to become, you have to put that into action. So that you do a lot, you're going to have a lot, obviously. So that's just the concept. Basically, he just said, exactly what
Exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a real common sense guy, man. I learned a lot from just the universe gives you lessons, man. Like you can just look at how animals move or whatever. You learn a lesson from it. Like, everything on this planet is a lesson for you to learn. That's how the Bible is written. Lessons for people to learn from just their environment. So if you just pay attention, you'll see everything you can see. Perfect example. Like if you look at how predatory animals hunt, kill, and eat, you learn a lot. Like they're not constantly eating every day. You gotta hunt. You gotta be striving for what your purpose is. Whether you get to kill or not. I mean, you might get up off your feet and be looking at something 100 times a day before you strike. But one thing I've learned about predatory animals, man, they don't get glory in the kill. They get glory in the hunt. The thrill of the chase. The thrill of the chase. Like, that's the reason why you got to rinse and repeat every time you reach a goal. Don't just, oh, well, I got my master's degree. I landed this great job. I'm good. No. Now, your job now is to learn the full process from front to back, up and down of the company you're working for. Look at where they messing up at in their process. You know, give them a little bit so that way you be a productive member of the team. But at the same time, you need to be thinking, how can I do this better? And how can I get the expertise and get the funding I need to be now their competitor? So let me tell you something. The student main purpose should battle the master. That's what, now you have a formidable opponent. Now, when the student is battling the master, they reach that level that tells them something. That tells the master something. Now, you're competing against yourself. You should always be competing against yourself.
Right. That's the most difficult thing. That's a really good angle to put that as far as
it is difficult
about mastery. Yeah, you know what? Something that I think that you said, man, was that we earlier on we talked about earlier on we talked about leveraging our communities to have that word like ingrained into us. A lot of times when people think leverage, they think we're taking advantage.
Yeah.
Right. And they don't look at leverage as healthy as we talked about before we were doing live as far as healthy competition.
Yeah.
And so understanding, but not even just that, but just understanding your environment. That's how leverage begins. Understand your environment and understand what needs to be met in that environment. And then you take on your resources, your expertise, all of that, combine those elements, create the leverage. What basically is what I got. So that's, for me, that's big because I've used that in my way of networking. I was involved in the military, so was, okay, I may not have a rank, right, for X, Y, Z, but I do have a connection here to be able to do what I want to do in this instance. And that's what got me, that's what got a lot of things done. That's what allowed me to get a lot of things done that the normal, at the time, I was PB2, E2, E3, wouldn't get done because I had this leverage for this person I knew.
So you had people power.
I did.
So you know there's different forms of power. There's I don't want to butcher it. I know you have people power, you have reverend power, you have position power, and you have the power of knowing your job. I don't know what the nomenclature is for it. But that's leverage for you. I feel like a speaker, for example, a subject matter expert. A subject matter expert, no matter what your rank is, if you know the job and you're a master of the job, no matter what your rank is, your influence on a project or a product that comes out is going to be way above the rest of your coworkers because you are a subject matter expert in this space. Right. So this is what's beautiful about leverage. If your level of expertise is here, now your pay might be here for now, but it will get here. And the reason why is because the universe is suspended in balance. So you can't be putting out this much effort and always stay right here. That's the way the Lord works. That's the way the Lord works. You put this much effort in, you're going to get this much fruit back in return. And you're going to get this much lesson back too, because it's not going to be easy. It ain't supposed to be easy.
That was key. So you're going to get this much lesson back. A lot of people are afraid to go. They turn their birth away from the lesson process. They want that instant gratification.
Yeah. They want that McDonald's have it your way production, and that's the way it works, man. Like you should want the struggle. You should want the struggle because what the struggle is going to do is it's going to give you a reference point when you run into problems. It's going to get you respect amongst your peers. They're going to say, "Hey, I remember when we was going through all this, and he was there and he came up with solutions to fix the problem." You're not going to just sit there in the mail room and then all of a sudden sit in the CEO seat unless you got some theoretical blood, sweat, tears in the day. Because they're going to respect because you were in the trenches. You did those hours, you went through all the headaches, you went through the possible layoffs because of your productivity. They couldn't let you go. They were afraid to let you go, so that they gave you leverage the way you could demand pay increases, benefit increases, time out like you want. But you don't get that stuff unless you put in it. And that's the problem now. Like nobody goes to put in the work, bro. Like with me. Before I went to school and got my degree in technology, I had a degree in business. But even before then, I taught myself technology. I taught myself HTML. I taught myself CSS. The only reason why I went down the business track is because that's what was popular at the time. And see, I was young, I was immature. I was trying to follow and keep up with the Joneses when I should have been focused on the business. Because technology started booming when we got out of high school. We had just got over the .com era, we just got over the Y2K stuff, and they had fixed all the problems. So if I was smart at that time, so this is about 2000, early 2000, yeah. So if I was being smart about that time, I would have focused on going into tech. Now, granted, I will say this: had I done that, then I probably would be as articulate as I am now and being able to express myself because that's a real introverted career. And I'm a Virgo, so naturally I'm an introvert, right? So where I learned talking to people and expressing myself is the fact that I realized how fast you can lose your life. And my thing is I'm not gonna go down with sugarcoat winners. I'm gonna go down roaring. I'd rather have regret than sugarcoat winners. So that's how I live. Every day I try to make an impact on somebody. I try to be a positive influence on somebody's life, give them something, because you never know. You never know where one conversation. I had a conversation with a guy here about 2 weeks ago. His wife has passed away, successful guy. Didn't even know he was in IT. I bought him a drink, we talked about his wife, and then we started talking about career stuff. He's in IT, been in IT for almost 40 years. Now, just because I showed some caring, and I didn't even know he was in IT, but now I got a person in my corner, I got a mentor in my corner that is a SME for real. Like he was in this thing, it was a black screen and green letters. Right. And that's dogs, so co-ballers. so it's just when you go in and you remove self, that's when magic's gonna happen. But it's crazy how you can't be selfish, but you kind of got to be selfish.
See, that's the thing I learned not too long ago. You think about selfishness as a negative connotation, right? Tone. And we have to stop that. We have to stop that negative tone and think about selfishness as a positive tone.
Yeah.
Because selfishness means I'm building myself to become a person of value.
Right.
You know? So you have to be selfish.
Right.
There's no way around it. You have to be.
Right.
And that's one thing that I've learned for myself as for mental training. It's like I gotta be selfish.
Like, so this is the you can be selfish. Let's clear the space. You can be selfish, but you gotta have this. You gotta have self-love.
Yeah.
I believe, how can you love the community? How can you love your loved ones? How can you love your friends if you don't love yourself? You gotta have self-love. And with self-love and self-preservation, then you can help others.
Right.
You know, I feel like a lot of people, and I love you, Mom. I love you. But you put people before yourself a lot. And I don't.
It only hurts you at the end of the day.
Because you put yourself, by doing that, if you're not on a strong, if you're not on a balanced, solid foundation, when you go to help somebody, guess what? They're going to pull you into the fray with them.
Right.
So I believe.
I think in the concept of wintertime, homeless guy or anybody without a jacket, you take the jacket off yourself and give it to that person. No, you're cold. Now you just reverse the situation.
Yeah. Now you put yourself in a situation where you get that stuff.
Right. So
there's got to be some balance. It's got to be common sense. Common sense is something that's not common, but I'll tell you right now, common sense is free and it costs you. So it's got to be smarter than you do.
I know one thing that you said that was pretty interesting. Like when you first started, you went the business route of school and things of that nature because you thought that was the it thing at that time. And one thing that I wish that I did, 10 years ago, is acquire a mentor. Just acquire a mentor in like somebody that okay, business wise, right? I want to do business. Find somebody who's doing well in business. Right. Have them as a mentor so that you can gravitate towards that. If we don't know what we don't know at the same time. So it's like if the .com era in your time frame is just coming like crypto for us is .com for y'all. So it's like, okay, let's get a mentor in .com to see who's actually playing the game and see if this actually going to be a thing or not.
And this is what's beautiful about the .com. And you referred to crypto. So .com was bust, but it created. It was that
it's a guinea pig.
Yeah, it was that boom that created life for technology and the internet. Well, crypto right now is going through the same thing, and I really believe that once this thing settles out, it'll do the same thing the internet did. Yeah. So just be prepared. That's all. You just got to have your ducks in a row. Whether it goes up or down, I'm gonna hypothetically stay in there.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's only gonna go up from here on that case, but we can talk about that. The other instance, so the planning part, you say you plan, you visualize your end goal, work backwards. You planned on the elements of really how to get there. So one couple things, mentorship. So finding somebody like me in project management, right? Find somebody that's in project management, get mentored from them, how to get the PMP certification, all that good stuff, and then planning from there, figuring out what's the end goal of that particular career. So, you say you like pensions, right? So, pension from the military, pension from the fire department career, which that will gravitate for you to invest heavily, aggressively, in whatever investments that seem applicable at the time.
Yeah, know your baseline.
Yeah,
that's my main thing. How long have we been able to do this? 80 years, really? 80 years.
Yep.
So we
One lifetime.
We had one lifetime to really be able to make an impact. 400 years of free labor.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make up for lost time. So that means your efforts, your investments need to make up for 400 years of free labor. So while you want to go buy that Benz, that BMW, or that Maserati and all that, it's not going to be conducive to that 400-year gap that we didn't get any return on investment, no ROI. I don't think so. So people got to get their priorities straight, man. Like, I really believe if people took the money that they wasted and they really invested it for real, they would be debt free soon. You know, instead of buying that Mercedes or that BMW, buy that Honda, their house will be paid off. They can go get another house and create that real estate portfolio they want. They can invest in stocks or do whatever they want. They're just going to bring that whole family tree up. You know, I'm real big on life insurance. Like, I feel like the first thing to create generational
wealth. Come on, man.
Is life insurance.
Speaking that language.
Come on, man. I knew the way the projector he was talking. I knew he was going to say that. He had to.
Yeah.
It was inevitable.
Go ahead.
It was inevitable. No.
That's part of your portfolio.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no. Tell me how in 30 years you can invest probably what, about 80 grand, literally, and then when you die, you leaving behind $5 million for your family. Like, you just completely changed the whole situation. I think that if your whole family had that, your wife and your husband had that same rocket. That's $10 million that your kids got now. With proper guidance to create something. You know, like, everybody wants to live good. Yeah, do that. You can have your cake and eat it too, but you better get a passport.
And it's always an and, not an or. Wealthy knows and.
Yeah.
How can I do this and that? Not this or that.
You want to know how I'm going to have my cake and eat it too? Right. I'm going to live on the beach, but it ain't going to be in Florida.
Right.
It's going to be in a place where I'm less than USSC to be a me. You know, you're going to have to speak Spanish where I'm going to be at. And it's just part of the portfolio. I'm leveraging my dollar. That way, I can live off a small portion of my pension and reinvest that into something. Reinvest my 401k distribution into something. So I'm constantly snowballing and building that compound capital. Right. That compound leverage. That's what we need to really be focused on as a society. I see how the Asian community is doing, how the Indian community is doing. They got it figured out. Man. Even the Latin American community, they'll live 10 people to a house. And 10 people contributing to that.
Come out of the car, 10 of them come out. Another one will leave that house until every single person in that household can afford
another house. And then this house is paid off. You know it's paid off. The person living in this house is still contributing to this house. And before you know it, they got all the Harrisburg. I see how y'all move. Y'all got all the Harrisburg. Shout out to my people.
Let's go back a little bit with the investment market. That's literally, as you say, you have to invest there. And that's literally like the next plan. That's the next step for you. After the pension, so that's the next step in your journey of the planning part. So you spoke of life insurance, especially for me. I've been doing researching like the IULs and the whole life, how you can get these particular policies and you can leverage those policies instead of using it for the death benefit. Obviously, you use it for the death benefit, but you can use it for now. Yeah, you can get a land, you can get a loan from that. IUL or a whole life insurance policy. You can go to another country or stay here, whatever the case may be, and use that money for investing in that business. And while you have that money loaned out, you're still gaining interest on the money that you have in the cash flow area. Exactly. Compound. And you necessarily don't even have to pay it back. If you pass away before you pay back the loan, it just comes out the death benefit. And you still got the death benefit and you got the business operating.
You create a trust out of that cash flow insurance policy. And basically you have a panel of people that they can host that. So they'll be able to they'll be able to decipher and monitor who anybody wants to draw out of it. Yeah, you don't have to worry about loans anymore. Now, it's not to say don't really worry about credit, because that's the
Credit is
that is the percent of loans and whatnot. But it's to say that you can use credit in the form of your credit card arbitrage securities. Credit to pay for things, getting your rewards back or money back, whatever the case may be. But don't use credit for loans unless you're getting a business loan, buying property, land, asset.
asset.
Not a
liability.
Not just
People gotta understand that assets and liabilities are. Like anything that's a liability can be an asset if you structure it properly.
Yeah.
Like my thing for the people that's got these Benzes and all these little foreign cars they trying to flex, that's cool. Do you flex it? But what's that car gonna give you in return? Like it's not giving you nothing in return except a maintenance fee that you're gonna have to maintain or whatever. My thing is for y'all, if y'all want to do all that, put that thing on Turo, man.
Yep.
Put that thing on Turo so that when you're not in that car is making money and paying its own thing, you can get that car for free.
Right.
Leverage your whole life.
Pay off your loan. Depending on how you
and keep the money in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's my main thing is just leverage. Figure out that. Figure out the master key to riches.
Now with the so we talked about the investment part, which leads to, like we said, goes into go to another country.
Right.
No matter what it is, as long as it has the 5 elements of wellness, and it's supporting your passion, your own mission. Talk a little bit about that, about like what you said about the Spanish culture, heading to the Spanish culture. Have you seen different Spanish culture, or different Spanish countries that you've been eyeing a little bit?
I've been there. My thing is, I'm not gonna speak on something that I ain't willing to do or I'm not doing. So I'm real big on that. I've been there. I've seen how far my dollar goes. I love the food. I love the weather. I love the culture. It just fits with my Caribbean vibe. If I could, I would go retire in Haiti. But it's so unstable right now. Just can't take that risk. It'll be affordable, but I'm gonna be looking for the show. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to go places where I can bring infrastructure and have leverage for the community. I mean, if you provide jobs, they're going to protect you. The community will protect you. That's just, you feeding these people. So
that's a bar too. It's like you got going there with selfish intentions. You go in there to make sure yourself is protected, make sure your money is protected, and second, you love the country so much, you want to create jobs and economical stability for other folks around.
A lot of people travel for vacation. There's a big movement now with the brothers and traveling and these channels and stuff. Hats off to y'all got your passport, y'all do y'all thing, but I'm not on the same speed as them. When I travel, I don't go on vacation. I go on economic research trips. Like I look at the infrastructure. I look at what can I bring. Like, okay, they don't have cellular services, so I can bring cellular service here, be a linchpin in that. Or their products and services are kind of slow, so I can bring a Lean Six Sigma mindset in here and make it faster, make it better, make it more efficient. So I can annihilate all the rest of my competition. And if not, and I don't want to say annihilate, because I will create a business that removes waste, very sufficient, and then I would take that same business model and train others for a fee, or if it's not a fee, then ownership, like a piece of ownership. So that way we can all bring it up to the point. Because we got to understand, like the main consumer market in a lot of Latin American countries is the local populace. It's not the tourists, but how about instead of just treating the tourists good, let's treat everybody good. Let's bring good customer service. Let's bring quality of product. Let's bring efficiency and service. That's my main thing. Like in Latin America, two businesses I know for sure that I want to be part of, that I'm going to be part of, is clean water, water filtration and distribution, and volunteering services. Like, it's the easiest businesses to get involved with. And then you take your expertise and you use that. You're creating infrastructure. You're bettering infrastructure. So naturally, you will be able to get the government grants and all that stuff. It makes you a reputable person with respect in the community. Like, it's one thing that we got to do as people, like our people. We got to get our respect back. We got to get our respect because we went through what we went through 400 years of that, and the other people looking at us like, damn, freedom, what you gonna do? What you'll get back? Well, don't use rage as you'll get back. You know, the best way to get back is elevation. You know, let your success be the revenge. The biggest thing with that is getting respect back. I tell this to everybody in that area is we gotta respect ourselves. First and foremost, we gotta respect ourselves. We gotta respect our women.
I said what he said, love yourself. That's the key thing. But then, respect our women. What you talked about before we started this, about all these blogs and they talking about yeah. It's redundant. Yeah. It's so redundant. It's tiring. It's like, and it's all for views. It's all for views. Y'all ain't got it by now. He ain't gonna get it.
We ain't gonna get it.
It's too much.
There ain't no sense in me wasting my life for it. It's like wasting my breath. I can use those breaths at the end of my days. I'm not gonna waste my breath talking about why another person doing what they're doing. If they ain't gonna do what they're supposed to do, then move on. Like you ain't find people who want to do what's the change. Yeah, I'm not gonna swim upstream for aimless pursuits. Nah, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it.
It's drama. We call it drama in our community that way. Because it's literally, when you think about it, it's our community that's doing this the most over any other community. I don't see other communities, other ethnicities talking about the way we talk about bringing our families together, like building a family. I don't see that. I don't see that. And so, y'all, I just all I see is complaining, whining, hoping, all that.
No solutions.
No solutions at all.
And at the end of the day, like my big thing is you have these gurus that's on YouTube and all this stuff, talking about all this stuff. Why this person doing this? Why this person doing that? They come up with no solutions. And my thing is, the only solution is for the person or that group of people that's having these issues to come up with their own solution. Like I can't tell you how to live your life, bro. Like it ain't gonna work. It don't work that way. All I can do is live my life and make my decisions speak for themselves. Like so, if I run across somebody, like the big thing is, I gotta have a 6 foot guy, 6 figures, and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, listen. If that's what you're looking for, like that. But my main thing is this: you need to look for those qualities within yourself. As a female, I mean, you might not be able to be 6 foot away, but make yourself a giant in your own right. Make yourself a person where I'm gonna respect you as an individual, vibration, and don't let prosperity jade you. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen it a lot, bro. Like I've seen people be extremely successful or look extremely successful. They spirit is messed up because they're so attached to the material things they've lost touch. Like I care less about some money or some material things. I care more about being able to create the process and produce. That's what I care about. Like money gonna come and go. But if you know how to produce, you're gonna always and that's why I'm making That's passion. Yeah. That's genuinely passion. Big Will, you drop a lot of gems. Gems. I mean,
I mean, we just let you naturally flow, just let you go with it. Because I mean, we're going to branch off on some other topics today, but to have you bring your advice, it's like a big advice. It's really appreciated. I'm just soaking it all in,
Yeah.
It's and what we talked about over there, lots of implementing. Like I said earlier, you say that what you can do, what advice you can lend to someone or whatever, can come back tenfold with the vibration. And that's why I mentioned that you can get a call one day. Like, hey, guess what? You're gonna see exactly what you had put into with that seed that you planted a while back. You're gonna see that. That's powerful, and that to me means a lot. It just means a lot to me. I'm thankful for advice. I always tell Bobby, like, I have people around me, as you talked about earlier, the people around me that build each other up, edify each other. That's all that I have around me. We're not edifying each other. We're not building each other up. We're not being accountable. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't have time for it these days. I might be only 28. I never talking about it, but I've gone through a lot of experiences in life, and I was telling my lady, I'm like, look, there's things that I just don't care about. Things that doesn't excite me. What excites me is getting bread. Getting bread, making it, and living a life, not only of comfortability, but a life of being able to give back. Right. The virtuous, yeah, it's right. Virtuous, like to me, that's what encompasses a virtuous life. Not only just being able to just sit back and smoke cigars all day, every day. No, it's just being able to give back to those and see other people win. Which is why I never understood about being envious of each other because it's cringe, because you come up, guess what? That's a community for me. Yeah. That's community. I'm like, all right, so what you find out that I didn't know? Because I give you some tools, whatever, and they get you to that point, you skyrocket, right? And then you find something out that I don't know because I don't know everything. You find something out that I don't know, and then I come up. Right. And then when you talked about earlier, the healthy competition, it's just a back and forth, but it's edifying. It's edifying to me. That's why I just never understood someone being envious of someone's come up. I don't. If you're not confident in what your capabilities are, then I can see it. Purpose.
It's the talk of the walk confidence, man. I've seen a lot, like in my circle. I've seen our brothers. They cool. They're cool when they're around us. When they get around other people, man, it's like I can focus on them. Like, they only can be the only black person in the room and all that stuff. Like, stop that. So they really don't look good on you because they see it. Yeah. And they look at how I move. I move like I belong. Because I don't. This is how I was born. Right? This is how I'm born. Right. Okay. So there you go. So
Preaching the again.
Don't confuse it.
Preaching again. Preaching again.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
This is how I was born. I'm a man of purposeful steps that culminate into a life. So the life is just a culmination of seconds. So the situation you make in those seconds will determine that small blank between your start date and your end date. Your tombstone is just a little dash, but that little dash could be monumental representation. That's what we need to understand. We know that one life to do it right the first time. Everything else, I don't know. But I know one thing for sure. While I'm here, I'm gonna do that for you. Right. Like one thing I've learned other people. I'm a people watcher, man. I like looking at cultures and seeing how they live. Yeah. You'll notice this, like look at the Indian people. I love all people. But if you look at how they move, every person in the family is essential. They go out and do reconnaissance. When they come back, they either bring skills, they bring wealth, they bring services, businesses, where they can hire their own people and just continue growing. Everybody's doing reconnaissance and they share information, leverage that part. And that's what it comes down to. We got people that are doctors, we got people that are scientists, they love going to the country club and doing all that stuff. That's cool. But knowledge without teaching is the biggest sin. Because you're wasting it. Knowledge is acquired. Teaching, food from that seed.
The biggest thing that we have a problem with, the biggest problem that I have with us is we don't take back, we don't bring back.
There's no give back.
There's no give back, and it's imperative that we do that. You mentioned it right there, the key point. Other cultures are bringing back that knowledge. And why do you think that other civilizations are growing exponentially?
Look at China.
Look at India. India,
Second largest country for logistics.
and crypto. And crypto. What in the world are we doing? What are we doing? We still haven't caught up to India on that.
The thing is, the people that are making the decisions on that are stuck in their ways. They're stuck in their ways. Oh, traditional. They're traditionalists, and their tradition will hurt us in the world. Just saying. So, you as an individual, got to represent your family, your community in its own right, and focus on your availability for that. Your availability for that. Like, I believe that the globe is your residence. So, the grounds are in front of over here.
What? Say it again. You speaking to a nomad.
The globe is your residence. Let me tell you something. We got a passport that is globe. This right here, that's globe. We can go anywhere in the world and just blend in. Yeah. We go to Africa. Until we start speaking, nobody knows. We go to South America. Until we start speaking, nobody knows. And what people, some stuff they don't teach in the history books, man. Everybody talks about going into Charleston and the Banana Republics and Costa Rica and all this. Well, there's one step deeper than that. You know, the door of no return was in Ghana. The door of entry was in Bahia, Brazil. And they used Bahia, Brazil as a shipping point for most of the slaves in the Western Hemisphere. That's because you have a huge African population there. You know what I'm saying? And you see us all over the place. So by us being removed from our home, it makes us global being. So we need to conduct ourselves as such. We are regal people. We are powerful people. We have to respect ourselves. We have to respect others. The best thing, and this is going to be hard, and this is going to be a hard one. I hope y'all lose viewers. But the best way to move forward, man, is to let go of the past. As long as you hold on to that, it's going to be ingrained in you, and it's that other people won't see it. Now, when you're talking to investors, you can't be over here having a lot. When you come to this man to get money for no bets, it don't work that way. You got to be pure. If you're pure, you get what you're supposed to have. So, my thing is, I've seen people that let go of the past and they went so far because of that. Didn't have any animosity. I got no animosity with nobody. But I will say this: ain't nobody gonna impress me like that. I got guns.
I heard that. We all.
So I'm not playing that. I'm not the oppressible type. But what I am, the type I am is, I'm all about inclusion, I'm about growth, I'm about everybody winning. You know, and love, man. I love myself, so I will protect myself. I love others, so I will protect others. That's what I swore to do. the military. That's why I swore to do with the fire department. Help and protect. So that's just not a switch that I can turn on when I put my uniform. That is a switch that on 24/7. Something went down right now. So I'm telling you right now, you will see me move and attack command, solve the situation, whether I live or not. And when you live like that, that virtue, that nobility, tell you, and echo, people respect you a little bit. I've never met you before in my life, but within a 3-minute conversation, you already knew it. You could tell by my vibration. Number one, I'm all business. Number two, I'm humble. Number three, I'm all about giving back.
And that's another thing. So having a conversation with you, that was I like to analyze and have the conversation with you. I know success when I see it, because I've been around a lot of successful people, right? But like general success, but you don't show it in the sense of like I'm not gonna flaunt it.
No, you don't have to.
So your advice reinforced it. I was like, yep, he's doing something.
I feel like if you show your success, there's problems that come with that. You have leeches that try to attach to you. So you got to deal with that problem. You have people that aren't genuine, they just around you because you're successful. And then on top of that, you have people that want to talk to you and ask for help. And you want to give that to them, but you exude this personality trait or this physical trait that makes them kind of scared to come in and approach you. Because they're just like, yeah, I don't know if I can approach this guy because he has a Rolex on or whatever. Like, me, at this level where I'm at, I don't care what you got. I don't care if you got a Lamborghini. I'm still gonna talk to you like you're some regular ass dude. The president could be sitting right there, and I'll still sit there and talk crap, have a good time. I respect him as an individual. I respect him as my commander in chief. But he's a man just like me. And when you can conduct yourself in that manner, you can look past somebody's material. That's when you really can tap in, right? Because they know you're genuine. That's all I'm about. That's all we need to understand. We need to continue with be yourself.
You don't like yourself?
Fix it.
We have to realize it. You don't like yourself, fix it. That's the best thing. As men, to do that in society, because like that's what we got, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Like character is a huge thing. I was telling my lady this the other day. I said character is a huge thing. I care if you like if you may not like me or like how things are said or whatever. So like I was telling her about different things. I was like military things were said. Right? But I tell you what, the biggest thing was people have respect because I had got things done. Right. And I had delivered whatever I said I was going to deliver. And I got my point across. And that was that. Maybe because people they thought, okay, he might be too correct, right, or whatever, And so it seems like rash, right? But it's like for me, I'm like when you hold certain responsibilities, you can't coddle people. You can't coddle people. You gotta be like, this has got to be done. If it's not done, then I got to move on to the next person. Right. I'm not going to be like, hold you, whatever. No. So that's how you earn the respect because it's all about, okay, it's demonstrating what it is, not just talking.
It's easier for me to mentor somebody that has a plan that is already contributing action. I can see really be able to look at it and take these steps. They've already produced. It's easy for me to come in and fertilize ground that's already tilled, then go into a rough and cut down trees and move rocks and then put in topsoil. Like that type of that type of work is for children, your kids. I'm not gonna son them. Right. Mental. I ain't gonna be your dad. Exactly. So you gotta go ahead and have it work done. And the best way, this is I journal a lot. I'm probably one day gonna finalize and put it into a book. So on the first page of my journal, I drew a diamond. It's 5 points. And that's the holistic person. You have your physical, your mental, your spiritual, your social, and your financial. And all you gotta do is master and control three of those sides. And the other 2 are themselves. So if you take care of your finances, you take care of your social circle, you take care of your mental, your physical is naturally going to come into play because your physical, you're going to realize at that level, I got to be healthy. I got to be physically fit. I got to take care of my body. And you're going to know by taking care of your body, your spiritual feeling itself. If you perfect, just reverse it. Your physical, your spiritual, and your mental. Work out. Understand that there's a bigger thing here than just us. Get the education. Your social circles will mold themselves to the person that you're becoming. So will your finances. Like it's work, man. You gotta work. These people are willing to go do a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. And when they get home, they drink a beer, sit down and watch TV, play with the kids, talk to the wife and go to sleep. They've done no work on themselves. They've done so much work for other people. If you gave yourself 20 hours of work every day, I promise you, before you know it, you'll be the person you're going to be. We get so sidetracked with entertainment. Like, most TV I watch this week is this now. I'm watching it tonight. And when my TV's on, I'm looking at stocks, I'm looking at crypto, I'm looking at world news. I'm trying to think, okay, on a macro level, how is this over here going to affect this right here, and how is that going to affect how I invest? Yeah, you got to be in the trenches, man. Like everybody want to talk about investments and this 30-day course on how to invest and all that shit. Don't do no 30-day course. Get a simulator, trade paper money for a year, do it every day. Learn what you got to do, and once you become profitable, then invest your own. That's how you do it. You got to be in the ring, man. You got to be in the ring. Like you can't just take a course and practice and do blah blah. You don't know you can fight until you really get hit. So train and then get in there and see what happens, and learn from them hits. Don't invest more you can handle. So just learn, man, and before you know it, you'll know what you need to do. It's that simple. Life is simple. We make it difficult because we're so lazy. We procrastinate so much it just compounds difficult. If we move when we're supposed to move, how we're supposed to move, the best of our ability. When we move the next time, it's going to be less effort and less quality that we get done with.
So my biggest struggle at a point in time was, so I've seen a little bit of success on this time, and then I squandered it, right? And I saw how you can squander that last year, and I did it in 1 year. And I did the planning, took care, everything, did my research and all that, connected with people, and I saw it. It was just coming. It was coming, and I think it was because I was real young at that point. I was like, I can't really justify it by saying young, but I just use that in the term of like my lack of maturity, lack of awareness of what I was dealing with how fast things were coming. Not where it's like here today, one tomorrow, but it was like, wow, I'm really like my plan is really going right. You know what I'm I'm saying? Like, wow, I didn't even think you could do that. And I was like, I didn't believe it was true. So I was like, man, let me flash it.
Yeah.
And that was my downfall. And I was the very first person that said I would never do that. Like, I would never flash. I would never be going, doing frivolous things with, my money or anything like that, right? And I was that person. I went from having a little over 100K in my bank down to 5,000.
Yeah. It happens fast.
Yeah. And I was like, wow.
It happens so fast. That was a good lesson for you to learn.
It was.
You just realize how long it takes for you to get there, how fast you come back there. And the same, I'll give you this, man. That's a good lesson for you to learn young, because the younger you are, the more risk tolerance you are. Like, that's something I would have hated to hear. Like,
oh yeah.
Because now, man, you put yourself in a real awkward position, because now you're not here for longer. You need to be relaxing and you're like, you're useful so long as you're youthful. So while you're young, working, asking. Don't have no baby. You don't need it. Have a couple hours on it. Stay working. That's the main thing. Another thing, off of what you said, I'm not going to build a tree house in a tree. It just started producing fruit. I want to see fruit after a couple of seasons before I even contemplate doing something. Get it, reinvest it. Get that, reinvest that. Get that, reinvest that. Now you got a solid foundation. Your roots are deep. You already know, okay, I tried this, I've done this, and I know the game. So when you do take a catastrophic failure like that, your bounce back is faster. Then your first time getting there, you reach your first goal, and now it's time to cruise. Like, I'll tell you, I flew on a low master for a while. One thing I've learned, when you're flying high, you don't have to burn as much fuel once you're at cruise altitude. But at the same time, you see clouds in the way, you have plenty of time to deviate. But it's hard to deviate when you're burning fuel, because on climb, we burn 20,000 gallons of fuel. But at cruise altitude, we only burn 15. So we can move around and kick around clouds on the climb. You're climbing. You got radio traffic. You watch the other people and stuff. Like, so before I really deviate, I try to find a clear patch. I get the cruise altitude, I level off. That's when I might get a little bit. I always stay on the course. And that's what we gotta realize, bro. Like, we got some people that are first generation. Well, first generation rich. Wealth is a state of mind. And how you get a state of mind is by being rich over time. Become mature and having money. And that's where we have a lack. People brand new money. They think they gotta be like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods money. So don't think you got Tiger Woods money, okay? Get Tiger Woods money for that. Reinvest the profits. A couple books that I've read that really have molded how I move. I'm glad I got hold of these books who mentioned Your Money, Your Life by Joe Dominguez. Your Money, Your Life by Joe Dominguez. Not a lot of people talk about that book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and the Dave Ramsey series. Total Money Makeover, and what's the other one? I'm trying to think of the name of that book. Spot there. It's financial peace. Oh yeah, financial peace. And the only issue I have with financial peace, and for y'all, if you're brand new, follow the book to the T. And once you are mature, in the process, and you internalize the process, you're going to have to learn how to leverage credit. If you learn how to leverage credit, you're literally taking the representation of money that you don't have and creating money that you do have. So that is the only problem I have with that leverage stuff. You don't believe in leverage. I believe in leverage.
I feel like he has pretty good.
Yeah. You got to leverage credit. You got to be able to, and what I mean by leverage credit, like buy a house, flip a house, or buy a house, flip a house for cash. And then you keep the residual. You keep the residual. I mean, you do that a couple times, you'll have the cash to where you won't need credit. You know, so that's a powerful for the mindset. Think and grow rich. For stock analysis, I love Benjamin Graham. The intelligent investor. That is a really good book. The savvy investor is a really good book. Thinking Fast and Slow. That's another good book. There's a lot of books out there that you can read, but reading is one thing. Implementing is another. You got to implement these things. You can read books all day, but are you a reader or are you a person of action? These should be plans that you take and you customize them to work for you. The whole book might not be for you, but a portion of the book might be for you, a portion of this book might be for you. Customize them and fit them into your plan. And once you have your plan developed, you work your plan. Work your plan. Every day you should be working your plan. Have accountability within the day. Set points in your goal strategy that you're supposed to meet. If you can't meet those goals or meet that point, then that means you have to be double effort. You got to hold yourself accountable. We're adults now, so we don't get our butt whipped by our parents. When we do get whipped at it, in our pocket. And I really just might take a belt in my I'd rather tapping on my wallet. So you got to be accountable, man. You got to be accountable. Accountability, drive, focus, creativity, being a virtuous person, being honest, not with everybody else only, but with yourself, knowing what you're capable of, acting on it, loving yourself, loving others. That'll take you where you need to go, man, for being honest with yourself.
Not being honest with us at all. And that creates a blockage of trying to get to your goals.
Yeah.
Your blockage is blockage.
Yeah. You know, and it's really the blockage is I feel like people surround themselves with people that are broken. If they perceive to be great people, they're really broken people. And you try to emulate them in a business. You know in the back of your mind they're wrong because of their social status or because of physically. You're naturally going to be attracted to that person just because of the access or the influence they have. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be a piggyback. You're supposed to piggyback on nobody. You're supposed to be the piggyback. People don't have to eat us. That's my main thing. We always be traveling to leaders. That way, we get around people with greatness that are higher than us. We can be a good century, a good following, with something respect, not only from them, but from us as well within us, because we know what we're doing when we're talking about. This person might have the access, they might have the funds, they might have the investors, but we bring our own piece to it that makes us credible. Not everybody can be the chief. Sometimes you have to be the Indian. And then some points you might have to be the chief. And you got to remember, like, I was in the trenches, I did this, I had this going on. So you got to be able to say, hey, I know what you're going through. I've been there. And that comes from work. That mindset comes from being in the trenches. It's like what's happening. I like the guy that was stocking shit in the store before he became the CEO. Because he knows the process from the bottom all the way to the top.
He's a servant leader. At the end of the day, I like that term. I think I learned that term.
The 360. Did you read 360 later?
I did it. I heard it. It was from one of my old mentors. Yeah, it was. It was from Joseph, my old mentor. He's Eastern, and he's had to talk one time. He used to have like he used to teach a men's group and everything. And, you know, after men's group, would just be in this truck and just talking about things or whatever. And he said you need to be a servant leader. He said to me when as a young guy, 20, like you need to come down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like yes, you're capable of things. So he said we got to show you. He said I don't care what you do. What are you? Those words changed my life, and that's what allowed me to be today. You know, when I shared that, yeah, I've been up and you know, I'm not at that point anymore, like as far as like up when I was, but I'm getting back to it. And the ability that it's brought me through before I was able to take those lessons and apply that to where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just those things resonate with me. It keeps me humble. And I was gonna ask you though too, you know, in the social media age, you know, what are y'all thoughts about how people give information to others and how they think about what success looks like?
Social media age. For me, I really look for personally. I'm a follower, and when I say that is that I'm a follower from the standpoint of somebody who's doing better than I am. I'm trying to get to that level. So a leader and bringing people that that's not necessarily better, but I have better skills at, so I can help those folks get up to my level. So when it comes to the social media world, I listen very closely to people giving advice and information because it's like one thing like do you have a mentor? If you don't have a mentor, then the information that you're given stops right there. It doesn't progress. So that's for me. Even if you're a $1 billion man, you still need a mentor. Or if you're $1,000 man, you need a mentor. So with the information thing, or with the social media part, I'm very careful with the information that I receive because a lot of the information is not good, and a lot of information is glamorous, it's shiny, you know. And I'm looking for the brother. I'm looking for the dirty. I'm looking for the person that tells me, hey, you don't need to be having 8 to 7, 10 mentors trying to get to yourself to whatever location. You need at least a minimum between 1 and 3 mentors trying to get to yourself. Because the more mentors you have, the more direction you don't have. It paralyzes you of actually doing it, and then it keeps you in a state of continuously learning, but you don't know what direction to go towards. So to answer your question, when it comes to the information on social media, I only listen to like David Sands, EYL, Urban Leisure, shout out to them, and Myra Golden. Myra Golden is the mentors for those two last people, for EYL and for David Sands. So it's like, and I don't know what Myra Golden is. So I only say like a couple mentors, but $1 billion status. So that's just for me.
So when it comes to social media, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't have social media. No, I only have Facebook. And the reason why is because I've noticed the trend in social media where people exude lifestyles of grandeur that I know that they definitely don't have. It's all important. I don't like that, the fakeness. A where what you say is contemplated based on how all my followers going to perceive this. So that have a big control over the message that I deliver. What I say is not influenced by anybody except the mentors that I have in my mastermind group of friends. They're my mentors. Like, so I have a mentor that helps me with the product department. I have a friend that's a mentor for me in technology. And I have three of my friends. We bounce life ideas off each other. So it's just a mastermind group. I get feedback from them, they get feedback from me. It's a symbiotic relationship. We help each other. And if we can come together and do business, that's great. You know, they say you do business with friends. I'm not doing business with family. You see what I'm saying? So in regards to the social media piece, I do watch Earn Your Leisure. They're really good guys. They have some really good advice out there. And they're very humble. They have a huge following. Another group that I follow, it's a husband and a wife. They work for the government. They retire in Portugal.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. They have two daughters.
Yeah, two daughters. What's the name of that?
I followed their Robinhood advice.
Yeah.
They helped my Robinhood look way better. They did my rich journey.
They really show you how you can capitalize. So I follow people indirectly. I watch them on YouTube. I watch them on Instagram, but I don't on social media. No, I'm not. And the reason why is because the amount of time that I would use to post on social media, I use that every time that I'm going to be. I find social media is entertaining. I don't do it. The information and the data that I collect has got to be inspirational and educational. So entertaining is not a piece of it. So I stay away from social media. But at the same time, y'all have podcasts. This information for you to motivate somebody. With the guys like us in a neutral atmosphere with no agenda involved. I'm not getting paid by y'all, and I wouldn't even accept money from y'all in the first place because the information I'm giving is supposed to be free. But if this is an important call for me to let me know that I'm heading in the right direction. If I was saying something wrong about the life process that was wrong, y'all would check me. And then from that, I would go back and fix whatever the problem is. That's the problem with social media. If you check somebody, now you got a beef. Now you got a whole saga of beef. When you had two people influential on social media, instead of them joining together and correcting whatever this other person saw wrong or fleshing out that problem and fixing it, or saying, hey, you fleshed out this problem that you thought was a problem, but it's really a process that works. They beefing with each other. They're talking slanders about each other. They're not growing the community at all. It's perpetuating the problem. And that's really what I see in social media. The more drama you got, the more problem.
That's what it's all about. It's competing for drama. I don't have time. I just don't have time for it. Like I watch, probably recognize. I don't really know social media like that. So, I'm inactive. I used to be a musician, and I had to be on watching, but I was looking at competition, just seeing who's out there. I just like to do that research. And but to entertain, to waste my time entertaining myself, be on Instagram scrolling or something like that for about 3-4 hours and you ain't get nothing done. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like just no, you gotta cut it off. You gotta find the reason for being on there, figure that out. And if you got to, for accountability's sake, put a time and put it on. That's what I like. Get off and get back to work.
I feel like people go to social media so that way they can be validated. need somebody to give them a thumbs up or a smiling face or whatever, so they feel relevant. Well, I can tell you, being relevant on social media will make them relevant.
Right. So I think relevance for me is like out.
Period. Yeah, that's a report card. That's an adult report card. Your portfolio, your bank account, your report card, your grades, how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis. So your balance sheet, they send you in the mail or you get a digital. What that shows you, your debits and credits, determine what you've been doing. You've been doing nothing but credit. Come on, man. Like, you're supposed to be building. You're attaining something. They're not doing it. It goes out, it comes in. It goes out, it comes in. There's nothing left over. This is what's sad, man. You got a person that's got a six-figure income and got a six-figure bills. That's stupid. That's stupid. I gotta have something left over. You know, if you want to have that six-figure lifestyle, then you're gonna have to have 8 figure income and save it. So just because you got 6 figures, who cares? If you're not, I believe in having 6-figure income and be those 5 figures. Save your money. Yeah. Save your money, bro. Save your money, invest your money. Don't just throw it down the hole so you can be relevant. People that don't matter. Like, just because you got 1 million followers don't mean nothing. Don't mean a damn thing. You can't eat those followers. What's that going to do for you? It's not going to do jack squat. Now, some people have monetized it. You know, they got the followers. Their job is to live that big brand lifestyle. Yeah, you can do that. That's your business plan. That's what you did. That's cool. But not everybody can do that.
I think people care too much about what others think.
So, yeah, they let the noise of what other people think drown out the that's a beautiful lifestyle. You're not even relevant in your own life.
And we appreciate you. We appreciate you, big world. We really do. We really appreciate this advice, this game, all this knowledge that you drop on us, man. Yeah, everybody. I'm selfish. Like, this is not any for them. This is yeah. I mean, yeah. Shit, y'all take it cool. Y'all don't. You gonna take it as a matter of fact.
For y'all.
So, but no, definitely appreciate your time. Appreciate your efforts. Yes, sir. Thank you for you have
Something happened. That's one thing. The way that you came at me with it, I was like, man, you can't run. I'm really not a person that in front of the camera. I'm always behind the scenes type of cat. But, I would be doing my mentors a disservice. I would be doing my efforts that I put into getting all this education that I have and all the work I put in a disservice. I didn't teach. That is the main takeaway that I want people to understand. Put in the work. Feel yourself, yeah. Nothing more powerful than taking all your effort and putting it into a package where you can help somebody else with it and watch them and watching them do the same thing. And then before you know it, you have a whole and that's beautiful. Because then you can really make moves. Everybody is, when you have a group of people that think like you and live like you, it's not hard for you to say, hey, I saw this piece of property, I think apartment building would be great. Let's go together and do it. Because you know where they come from, you know where they are, you know that you ain't got to go fishing for investors outside your camp. You keep the money in the bank. Yeah. And that's what I want to see in our community. I want to see us be able to keep the money in the family and grow up and build and create legacy. Man. That's the main thing. That's what I want to see. I want to see buildings where I'm for other purpose we do.
On that note, we close out Sticks and Convos. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. We hope everything that's been said here has been edifying to y'all. Even though we won't take it for ourselves and run with it, but thank y'all for listening. God bless. So appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Got one question for you, Love. This is for the viewers and for us. The last message, something powerful, motivational, like somebody's watching this, they don't know what direction they're going. Like you said, they got everything in place, but something is just not working for them. What would you say to young man or young women that help them propel?
Okay. Well, I will tell you this. Honor your elders because they've been here longer than you. Respect them. I see a lot of young people. They think they know everything in the world. They've been here for a little bit of time. Like you got to respect them who've been here before you. You can learn from their failures. You can learn from their growth. You can just replicate that process and mitigate a lot of the problems you're going to have if you're trying to be brand new. And really, I'll be honest with you, you're going to try to create something that's already been created. But you're going to do it the hard way. I believe in referring to your elders, hold your elders in high regard. You understand your business. You answer your business. Honesty will take you a long way. And just, maintain a good spirit, man. I don't know how people believe. That's their choice. I know how I believe, and I stole a prayer from a great man. I asked not only for riches, but for wisdom. To use wisely the riches given to me and birth in the form of the power to correct my mind and whatever ends I desire. And if you internalize that, we'll tell it.
Say that one more time. Say that. I need that one more time, please.
I ask not only for riches, but for wisdom to use wisely the riches given to me and birth how to correct my mind to whatever ends I desire. And when you ask the universe for that, for wisdom and direction within yourself, hold yourself accountable, do what you want.
You heard it first. Big Will. Hey.
Nothing more to be said, y'all.
All right, y'all.
We out.
Smoke good.